there's different signs of being lost. And I think what's interesting is the younger son, well, it's obvious that he was lost. But the older brother, it's not so much. And so I want to share with you this morning basically 4 different signs of being an older brother. Okay? 4 older signs of being, and this might kind of cut to the quick a little bit. But I think one of the signs of being an older brother is you're always angry with the father. There's undercurrent of being angry with the father. Because, you know what, God, you owe me. I have been faithful. I have been a rule follower. I never disobeyed anything you've ever said to me. And so you owe me. And then whenever life doesn't go right, whenever we struggle, whenever there's this hiccup in life, all of a sudden we become angry with God because, God, you owe me. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to somebody I love or somebody I care about? And all of a sudden there's this undercurrent of anger with the father. The older son became angry and refused to go in. And so once again, his father went out to him and pleaded with him. So I think one sign of being an older brother is there's this undercurrent of anger against the father. I think the second one is duty without beauty. I mean, he said, look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. And I just kind of go off on a tangent here real quick. The younger son went off and squandered everything away. He repents and he comes back and he says, Father, just make me one of your hired men. Just make me like a slave. His father says, no. Welcome back to the family. Puts a robe on him, puts a ring on him, puts sandals on his feet. The older brother, who thought he was a son, was really and truly a slave because of his spiritual lostness. And the older brother always had this duty without beauty. What I mean is like this. The older brother, he does all the right things, but there's no joy in it. He does all the right things, but it's an obligation. He does all the right things, but it's just a daily grind. It's like art appreciation in college. Anybody have to take art appreciation? Music appreciation? Okay, why did we take art appreciation and music appreciation? Right? Because we were forced to. Right? You had to take the class. In theory, it was an easy A. This is going to help your GPA, which will help you graduate, which will help you get a better job, which will help you make more money, right? So you take art appreciation or music appreciation because it's a means to an end. Okay, every day I would show up and I would do whatever the professor asked me to do just so I could get that A and so that I could graduate. Okay, but over the years, art appreciation and music appreciation is no longer a daily grind. If I go down to the Dolly, if I go to a museum, I go because I want to go. It's not a duty, it's an end in itself. It's beauty. Okay, and that's how it is with God. I think the older brothers, it's always a duty. I've always got this obligation. I've always got to be doing something for God. But for followers of Jesus who truly understand His grace, it's a beauty. We just enjoy being with Him. We just enjoy being in His Word, being in His presence. I mean, here's another a way of identifying if you're an older brother or not. How about your prayer life? Is prayer simply a means to an end? Where it's give me this or do this for me or I want this? Because that's the older brother, right? The older brother had really no love for the father. It was a means to an end. He wanted the father's stuff. Or is it a beauty? Where you just praise God and adore Him for who He is and what He's given and what He's done. I think another sign of being an older brother is the older brother always saw himself as superior to the younger brother. He always saw himself as being better. He always saw himself as being much more than he ought. Look what he says. He says, but when this son of yours, he doesn't call him his brother. He doesn't call him, family member. He says, when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. It's almost like the older brother saw his younger brother as being a tax collector and a sinner, as being lazy and a failure and immoral. He elevated himself. Do you do that at all? Where maybe you look at somebody else here in our community, and maybe they're on the street, or maybe they're struggling with something, and all of a sudden you think to yourself, you know what, I'm better than them? When in reality, we're all lost.